Yesterday, I spent a good part of the day doing some deep cleaning. And that's not always the most fun, exciting activity, but once I get the music going and start seeing some progress, I get more into it. And when it's all said and done, there's nothing better than at the end of the day climbing into fresh sheets and seeing gleaming floors that smell like lemony pine sol. And I love the lines in the carpet after you vacuum and seeing clean baseboards that are dust free, and just having an organized space that feels good, and it makes it all worth it when it's all done. And I couldn't help but laugh because I avoid sugar in my diet. I avoid eating boxed food. I try to follow a really whole food, natural diet. And when it comes to skincare, I make a lot of my own skincare products to avoid chemicals. A lot of the ingredients come from the fridge. I've never done Botox or fillers or anything like that. But when it comes to cleaning the house, I'm all about the toxic chemicals. I love the smell of pine sol and bleach and Lysol and Murphy's oil soap. The more chemically lemon smell that I have when I'm done cleaning, the better it is to me. It feels clean, it smells clean. I know the germs are killed, the dust is gone, no more dust bunnies. It just feels and smells clean. And it's kind of like our targeting situation, which is also so very toxic. But what it does is it cleans out the dust bunnies in our life. Because so often, what we find in our targeting situations is it really highlights and identifies who was never in our corner to begin with. Whether it's someone in our life that was a friend or family or coworker or community member, even if they didn't participate in the direct targeting or the smear campaign, those that stood by and didn't check on us, didn't support us, didn't defend us, revealed their character and that they were never in our corner to begin with. And it's almost like that toxic situation removing forcefully the dust bunnies in our lives that we may not have removed ourselves. So often we hold on to family relationships, those bonds, out of obligation because they're our family, or a long-term friend, or a job situation because we need the job, even if it's toxic, even if it's not healthy for us. But the targeting situation is a blessing in disguise in that it forces out, through all their toxicity, the people that do not belong or should not be in our lives, that we may not have removed ourselves, but the situation makes it clear that this is no longer a safe person. And even if they're sorry, even if they get caught, even if they try to make amends, the line's been drawn in the sand in a way because they've really revealed that they're not there to protect or defend us. They're not in our corner. And it allows us to be able to see clearly, black and white, who we should have in our lives and who we shouldn't. And I really want to highlight the importance today that smear campaigns are so much more than gossip, defamation of character. It's not just small town rumors. Smear campaigns are very vile in nature, and many of us that have been targeted, the things that are said about us are similar in all of our cases. They're some of the most gruesome lies that can be told about a person that a person can't come back from. Even if the lies are proven to be untrue, the damage is so irreparable because the lies are so next level. This isn't small town gossip. This is vile accusations about substances, promiscuity, lifestyle, that we're homeless, that we're mentally unstable, that we're violent, that we're unpredictable. I mean, just the grossest and cruelest and vilest lies are told in smear campaigns. And I think it's really important to normalize that smear campaigns are far more than intended to isolate and humiliate and shame. Yes, the goal is to have the targeted individual silenced and ashamed and isolated, driven out of a community, not wanting to show their face, afraid because they're being assaulted or their property is being vandalized, they're being surveyed, they're being hacked. All these things are for a much greater intention than to just isolate us or to silence us. They are to set a stage for a crime scene, because the goal in driving us out of our jobs, our homes, our communities, ruining our reputation in such a next level way is the hope of completely destabilizing the targeted individual to the point that they'll take themselves out. And when that doesn't work, what the smear campaign has accomplished is a scenario that if our targeters take us out, no one will question it. No one will investigate it. No one will think twice. They'll go, oh, they died of an overdose? Yeah, I heard that they were a user. Well, guess what? They were injected, or they were poisoned. Or if we die in an automobile accident, is anybody going to look into the fact that our vehicles were vandalized up to that point? The smear campaign is intended to negate responsibility for the criminals in our targeting situation that ultimately want us unalived as targeted individuals. It's much more sinister, it's much more deadly than gossip. And it's time to start really recognizing and bringing awareness to that. That when people are circulating such gruesome and vile rumors about a targeted individual, this is a red flag that they're setting the stage to take their life without question, without investigation, when they're treating us like we're nobodies, like we're trash, that we're disposable. It's because they intend to dispose of. And I think it's really important to not minimize this as defamation of character or simple gossip. These are criminals who intend to take our lives because they forged our signatures, false death certificates, false marriage certificates. They've committed fraud in our name. They've hacked us. They've vandalized our property. They've committed financial crimes. They've stolen from us. There is a lot at stake for our targeters in terms of legal consequence. And so by smearing our names to the point that nobody cares if we go missing or we disappear or we're so isolated that no one notices, there is a huge red flag there that they have premeditated a plan to make that targeted individual unalived in one way or another, whether they hope that that person takes themselves out or they intend to do it themselves, to drug them so they die of an overdose or to make them disappear. And I know for me, and I'm sure many of you as targeted individuals have felt the need to disclose. I'm not on substances, I'm not depressed, I have no thoughts of self-harm. So if I turn up overdosed or deceased, my targeters did this to me. And the fact that as targeted individuals, we feel the need to make sure that that be known, documented, to make that disclosure, it goes to show the severity, the seriousness of these behaviors, and that a smear campaign is much more criminal in nature, much more insidious with intent than gossip.